Kelsey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the matter before the court is civil action number 2483, CB 00692, Paul O'Keefe, individually and personal representative of the estate of John Joseph O'Keefe III et al. Versus C&C Hospitality, LLC, doing business as C&F McCarthy's et al. Your Honor, for the plaintiffs, we have Attorney Mark Diller present by Zoom. For defendant C&F McCarthy's, we have Attorney Tamara Holstag. For defendant Waterfall, we have Attorney John Dealey and David Hassett, I believe, or maybe just one of them.
It's just John Dealey today, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. And for defendant Reed, we have Attorney Sarah Shipley and Attorney Aaron Rosenberg, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So when we were last together on April 9th, at that point, I think not a single deposition had taken place other than keeper record depositions. And I concede that this case has been pending for 619 days. And I acknowledge that for 231 of those days, over 7 months, the case was subject to what was a very limited stay as to discovery involving Ms. Reed and depositions of certain of her family members. But that stay expired over 10 months ago. When was it, in July? So coming up on a year. And I tried to figure out how a case that's been pending for so long could have so few depositions conducted. And one possible answer came when I was looking at the docket. Did you know that the parties are represented by a total of 22 lawyers in this case? Ms. Reed leads the pack with 10. The plaintiffs are a distant second with 5. Waterfall has 4, and McCarthy's has had to try and get by with only 3. But then I thought of the attorneys that are involved in the case, and they're all experienced lawyers, and so they can't be the reason that the case has been pending so long with so few depositions taking place. Then I thought, well, maybe it's the issues in the case are so complex. But I think, as we all recognize, when you cut to the core of this case, it's a wrongful death action with a dram shop component and a claim of negligence in the operation of a motor vehicle. So it's really not that complex. And when I say that, I'm not trying to minimize the claim of the plaintiffs or the defenses of the defendants. So we're here for a status on discovery. So I'd like to hear from each party as to what depositions they have conducted, those that they have noticed, and those that are intended. And I thought maybe we'd go in the order of the number of attorneys that a party has. So we'll start with the least, and we'll start with McCarthy's.
Oh,
we lose
okay.
McCarthy's?
I believe we did, Your Honor.
Well, let's go to Waterfall. Attorney Dealey?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. On behalf of Waterfall, we have noticed some depositions that are scheduled for July because so many depositions had already been scheduled, but we have not taken any depositions yet. We did participate in the deposition that took place, I think, on Tuesday. In this case, we have depositions scheduled of a witness from one of the bars where Miss Reed was present, as well as the toxicologist for the Massachusetts State Police, Trooper Roberts, or I don't know if it's Trooper Roberts, Dr. Roberts, also scheduled in July.
Okay, so let's hang on and see if we can get McCarthy's back on.
Your Honor, it looks like Attorney Holstag has signed in. Her camera's just not on at the moment.
Can you hear us, Attorney Holstag?
I can, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes. So I don't know how much you heard of that, but what I'm hearing from each party is to what depositions they have conducted, those that they have noticed, and those that they have intended. So
Thank
go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pardon me, I got. So we have to send out today or tomorrow the deposition for two.
Attorney Holstag, you're kind of breaking up. I don't know if everyone else is hearing the same thing.
Hold on, let me
And the
log
trial
back
court,
off and come back in.
the trial court wants us to do more things by Zoom, which is shocking to me, given what happens all the time.
Let
Go
me see
ahead.
if
They
I
say
can
that-
bounce out and come back in.
Okay. While we're waiting for her, they say that the bar wants it. How about all of the members of the bar that are on this Zoom call? Do you want more Zoom and more virtual appearances?
No. That
We're
was me,
okay with-
Attorney Rosenberg.
We're agreeable to the virtual appearances, and there's time and place for us to have in-person appearances as well, Your Honor.
How do you think young lawyers are going to learn if they're just sitting on a screen? But anyways, Attorney Holstag, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Is there still feedback, Judge?
It's gone now, so go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying that we have ready to go today or tomorrow the deposition notices and subpoenas to two of the patrons of Waterfall. We've been coordinating with counsel for Waterfall, who also have an interest in those two witnesses, as well as with plaintiff's counsel. We also are going to notice the deposition of one of the patrons of our own bar. And then in addition to that, we've been in constant, or I should say frequent contact with plaintiff's counsel, Mr. Diller, as to the scheduling of 4 witnesses on behalf of CF McCarthy's, which are scheduled for May, June, and July, and we're working on dates that work for all the witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay. Attorney Diller, on behalf of the plaintiffs?
Yes, Your Honor. Thanks. At this stage, plaintiff has taken the deposition of Stephen Scanlon. We've served 13 notices of deposition, 3 to occur in May. Karen Reed is noticed for June 19th. Aidan Carney is scheduled in July. We've got a pending motion to intervene in the Norfolk Superior Court to enforce our subpoena to enter into a protective order and get access to Mr. Carney's digital evidence. On February 11th, 2026, Your Honor, the defendant Reed noticed 19 depositions and scheduled them for specific dates. Plaintiff blocked off all of those dates and prepared for such depositions at that time.
Okay. Attorney Diller, let
Yeah.
me, I'll give you the chance if you want to complain about something, but right now I just want to know what depositions you've taken, those that have been noticed, and those you intend on taking.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Attorney Rosenberg, on behalf of Ms. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We've scheduled, we have noticed, I believe, a total of 15 or 16 depositions. We had, I believe, 2 that were supposed to go forward that witnesses were unavailable for, that we rescheduled. And we recently rescheduled some of the remaining depositions that we had previously noticed as a result of scheduling changes and the way that discovery has proceeded. We've got the most of our depositions relate to the one claim that Your Honor didn't mention when you were discussing the case, which is the intentional infliction of emotional distress claim against Ms. Reed, which relates to what the plaintiffs deem a false narrative. And the defense to that, obviously one of the defenses, is that that's not a false narrative. So a lot of these witnesses relate to that quote unquote narrative. And so I would just say, I don't think it's as simple. And in fact, as the plaintiff has argued, it's not quite as simple as just a wrongful death claim because of the way that the plaintiffs pleaded. So we've got them all, we have them scheduled, I believe Mr. Diller said Ms. Reed is currently scheduled June 19th or so. I think most of, if not all of our depositions surround that date and finish up at the very beginning of July. As Mr. Deely said, I think that's when they've noticed the depositions that they noticed.
And you mentioned 2 depositions that had to be rescheduled because of scheduling issues?
It was either 1 or 2. I think it was 2. I'm just speaking off the top of my head. One was a third-party witness who the witness's counsel indicated was unavailable. I actually believe there were 2 of them. Again, off the top of my head, so I could be wrong, but I believe it was 2 third-party witnesses whose counsel reached out before the deposition and requested a new date, and we accommodated.
Were you able to get today's deposition done in the 5 hours we allocated?
Well, no, that deposition was rescheduled, and I yeah, that's the answer.
So someone answer for me, how many depositions have actually taken place since April 9th?
1.
One. Okay. Attorney Diller, I cut you off. You were about to convey some information or thoughts to me, so go ahead. You're muted, Attorney Diller.
Thank you, Your Honor. On February 11th, Your Honor, Defendant Reed noticed 19 depots and scheduled them for specific dates. Plaintiff and all the parties blocked off all of those dates and prepared for those depots. So far, Defendant Reed has canceled 17 depositions and renoticed all of them. For all of the depots that were scheduled to occur between March 24th and next week, Your Honor, the Defendant Reed has canceled 13 depositions. Many of those cancellations occurred on the eve of those depots, at least as far as we were notified. Even though the Defendant Reed had us block off all of these dates in February, I've learned that since Defendant Reed just sent off notices of deposition to the parties in this case, but did not bother to serve many of those deponents until the last minute. This clickbait lawyering is a tactic so that she can create a false narrative that these deponents are the ones who are canceling the depositions. But because of the late cancellations, Defendant Reed has now rebooked those 17 depositions and without regard to other dates that we have already served depot notices for. Between now and August 1st, we have 35 depositions on the calendar in this case. Recently disclosed information from documents and depots may likely make necessary additional depots being noticed. Likely, I'm concerned, Your Honor, because I expect there will be third-party motion practice from some of these deponents. It appears that Defendant Reed is using our case to conduct discovery for the 3 other cases that are currently pending with her involvement. So I just wanted to give you context to the scheduling that has occurred up until today.
Your Honor, as you could expect, I'd like to respond to that context, please.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's unclear if we're conducting a press conference here or a status conference in a civil proceeding. I don't know what clickbait lawyering is, but what I can tell you, Your Honor, is Attorney Diller has never raised any concern about any date of our depositions with us. If any party to this case has a concern with a date for a deposition that we've noticed, we are more than happy to discuss that. It is completely inappropriate for parties to come on to a proceeding like this and take the time to force us all to go back and forth about topics like this that should be addressed between counsel. So I would ask, Your Honor, that we not handle this in this type of proceeding. And instead, if there's a problem with scheduling, by all means, let us know and we will adjust it as we have for third parties. I'm not gonna, the accusation that the lawyering is being done for a particular way, frankly, is completely out of bounds and inappropriate. And it's designed simply to be conveyed to the public and not to Your Honor. And I request that we reconsider what types of discussions we're willing to have in hearings like this prior to any conference under Rule 9C or any other court rule.
So hang on one second. I bet Attorney Holstag doesn't want to miss all this, so we'll wait a moment for her to get back on. Is she trying to get back on, Kelsey?
Yes, Your Honor, she should be popping up in a second.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay. So,
I didn't
Attorney
miss
Diller,
that.
have
I
you-
didn't miss anything. I heard it all.
okay, all right. Attorney Diller, have you spoken with any of the parties about these issues?
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, many of these cancellations, we weren't notified until the eve. I'll have you know
Okay,
that.
But hang on, Attorney Diller. Did you call up any of Ms. Reed's 10 lawyers and say, hey, what's going on here?
We've talked to them plenty, but we haven't talked about their position of canceling all these depositions, Your Honor.
Okay, well, it's kind of like you're trying to sandbag them, which isn't a great way to do it. You know, let's take a step back here and keep in mind that we all have to be professional in how we deal with these cases, and that necessarily involves communication. And
Understood.
so let's try and keep that in mind as we go forward, all right?
Thank you.
We'll see everyone on June 3rd at 3
Thank you.
o'clock. Is that date a problem for anyone?
No.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Nope.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I hate to keep getting together every month, but it looks like we're going to have to continue to do it. So we'll see everyone June 3rd.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The matter is continued to June 3rd, 2026 at 3 p.m. for status conference that will be held via Zoom. And this matter is also continued to May 14th, 2026 at 3 p.m. for the continuation of the motion to compel for those parties that are involved. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.